Another one.
It's on.
Another one. It's
another one.
Three hacks. Another Three Hacks in a Movie podcast with your co-host Bentley doing it this time.
Emilio.
And RJ.
And this is where three hacks sit together and drink pumpkin cream cold brews and talk about movies.
We usually do have Starbucks. Maybe we should mention that until we get a sponsorship from them or something. But yeah, we're sipping on Starbucks typically almost every episode.
Like every other podcaster, we have our little Starbucks
At least
cups
once a
with
week.
us.
Oh yeah, probably like every other week.
I feel like the Starbucks go-to for podcasters is the nitro cold brew. I've always noticed that. So they like to do the nitro cold brew. I'm not that fancy, but we just finished a movie.
Yeah.
Just
all right,
finished
RJ. Today was RJ's pick. So RJ, what did we watch today?
We watched a movie called Spun, which is a movie that none of us has seen before.
Nope.
I became familiar with it when I was flipping through Pluto TV channels, and it was on one of the channels, and I don't know. I think it was just because like I saw like Jason Schwartzman or like John Leguizamo in there or something that it just caught my eye for a second. So I watched a little bit of it, and it felt like a fever dream what I was watching.
Okay.
But
It's psychotic. This movie.
It's very psychotic. So the movie, it's based on this guy William De Los Santos who wrote the script. It's about his experience with drugs, specifically methamphetamines, in Eugene, Oregon. So that's kind of what the movie is all based about, and it's shot pretty much like you're on meth.
Yeah, the really fast editing.
Yes.
And like whenever anybody does meth, it's like it goes into this whole like editing thing where
This is very sporadic. Like the shots are just very like you see one shot in like 6 different angles essentially. It just keeps like cutting from different angle to different angle.
so they're like pupil dilating and
there's a
all
lot of
those
dilated.
things.
There's a lot of not only dilated pupils, but the actual dilation of the pupils, like in real time, essentially. Which
Weird
is fucking
crackling
crazy.
noises at the same time.
Yeah, random like up close shots of like everybody's faces.
Pretty much every single time someone smokes meth, I feel like they do that kind of thing. And that's about like 10, 15 times in the movie.
Yeah.
Someone not smokes meth, but ingests it.
Yeah,
or
it says the characters take a
inhales
combined
it.
total of 23 hits
23
during the course
hits.
of the movie.
Damn,
I felt like
they
it
have
was
a
a lot
number.
more for some reason.
I felt like it was a lot more
yeah,
too.
for real.
Because when they're doing it, it's like back and forth, like
Yeah.
hit after hit.
Yeah, I really thought that number would have been a lot higher, but I don't know. Wiki says 23, so maybe.
Yeah, dude, they had a meth counter for the Wikipedia. is there a
should've
source
popped up
on that?
Yeah,
it should have
right.
popped up on screen. Like, ding.
I love
We should have done a hit a meth every time.
So the director of this movie, he was a music video director, right?
Yeah.
Before this, okay.
Jonas Akerlund.
Akerlund,
Swedish.
Yeah. If you couldn't tell, yeah.
Yes. He was in a Swedish black metal band.
Very nice.
Swedish black metal.
I've heard of Swedish black metal.
Right.
Not my cup of tea.
But he's
I
done
get it.
music videos for Queens of the Stone Age, Christina Aguilera, Beyonce, Blondie, Smashing Pumpkins, plenty of others.
Yeah, it's
What's a
Lady
big- what's a
Gaga,
big
so it's
video?
even still like a little more recent, I guess.
I don't know.
But I
This
mean, that's cool.
movie definitely had a sort of like, especially with the editing, it had
Oh,
a
he
very
did paparazzi
fast,
for Lady Gaga. That's a pretty big one.
Okay.
Had a very
Yeah.
fast like commercial
Whiskey in the Jar for Metallica.
sort of vibe.
Wow. Okay.
Ollie went undead, man. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I
name
know,
in a
right?
long
I was
time.
trying to think of what song that was, but I only know like 2 of their songs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he
the-
did
the-
a lot of music videos.
The man,
and-
wow, the man has been working, bro. Holy shit! Like
Yeah.
we're just looking over it kind of quickly, and like, damn, dude, there's Telephone by Gaga. I'm seeing fucking moves like Jagger from Maroon 5.
he did the one for Telephone with Lady Gaga and Beyonce.
Beyonce,
Is
yeah.
that the one with the pussy wagon in it?
Might be where they're
I
driving
think
the car
so.
together.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think
And
you're
I
right.
think they're in jail or
totally could be
something.
wrong, but I think you're
the
right.
pussy
yeah.
wagon from Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also did the Moves Like Jagger music video, which I'm not sure if I saw that one, but
Yeah.
that,
No, I
was,
just
a huge,
said
that was a
that.
huge
Yeah.
fucking song.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I mean, the man has a pretty good track record. The dude's been steadily working for a while now.
Yeah, but the movie was definitely shot almost like a music video.
Yeah, I
'cause-
remember you guys pointed that out in the beginning, and I was like, yeah, you're right. Almost so many scenes in that movie, if you made it quiet and just put like music over it, it would look like a music video, like just straight up a music video.
Yeah,
like, you could easily cut it to look like one.
The whole scene with the cops busting Spider's house, I was like, this is almost like Sabotage. The Beastie Boys music video.
Like then the guy has the mustache and the sunglasses.
Right. They're even like named the mullet cop and the mustache cop. I thought that was funny.
Also, I mean the classic music video scene or whatever when it's just like a dark, lonely road and you just see the headlights from the car and there's like the face of our main character, but it's like transparent so you can still see the entire scene. Classic fucking music video look.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, this movie was starring Jason Schwartzman as the
as our main character,
Ross.
Ross. Sorry,
Ross. He was based off of the main character, or the writers. That was supposed to be his
he's supposed to be the main character.
He's supposed to be the writer. Yeah. And Brittany Murphy is the lead female.
Yeah.
Kind of like love interest throughout the movie.
Real quick, R.I.P. Brittany Murphy.
Yeah, R.I.P.
I miss her so much.
But the rest of the movie is like stacked. Even though a lot of the characters are only in there for a few minutes, maybe it's a lot of like almost just extended cameos in a way.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
But it was pretty stacked cast, you know.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you mentioned John Leguizamo earlier, but yeah, dude, we saw. I mean, if you know Peter Stormare, like obviously he's probably not like like he's not like not recognizable just by name, but you look at him and be like, oh, dude, I've seen this dude's face like a million fucking times. Yeah, he usually plays like an Eastern European or like Russian mob. Like I don't know. Yeah. That's typically his motif, but you've definitely seen this man's work at some point. Yeah, Eric Roberts, who played this hilarious gay drug kingpin or something like that. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, I need to see Eric Roberts more in roles like that because his character I don't know, we only saw him for a minute, maybe 2 minutes, and I was like, I fucking love this guy. Like, I want to see more of him.
Right.
Brittany Murphy, Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke is probably the third lead in the movie. He probably had the third amount of screen time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, top 3 would definitely be Jason, Brittany, and Mickey for sure. Like those are top 3 main characters. Also, fucking loved Mickey Rourke in this movie real quick. I mean, I just saw The Wrestler for the first time last week or whatever.
Yeah.
And damn, dude, I loved him in there. I fucking love him in here. This podcast is becoming the Mickey Rourke fan club.
Right on.
Yeah, he looks a little bit better in this movie, I would say. This is before all the filler and the silicone went to his face.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he definitely looked a lot different, honestly.
Yeah,
but he played the cook, I guess, the local meth cook.
That's all he's known as the cook, right?
Yeah,
like,
his name's the cook in the movie.
Something I noticed in this movie, everybody loves wrestling. Everybody's always watching wrestling. Maybe
know,
that's just like a meth thing to
that was
do.
Weird.
But even the gay drug kingpin is watching wrestling in his room with his manservants or whatever.
Right? Yeah.
Those are definitely meth sex slaves for sure, dude. Reminds me, I always heard. I didn't watch the Tiger King documentary, but I always heard that guy he turned all these straight dudes into his meth gay sex slaves or whatever. So that's immediately what I thought of when I saw Eric Roberts' character.
Maybe the Tiger King was a big fan of Spun, and that's where he got the idea from.
Yeah. The wrestling was a real common theme in this fucking movie.
Anybody that was watching something on TV, they were watching wrestling.
Yeah, it was always wrestling. Except for the one video game shot in the opening scene, essentially, it was always wrestling.
Right, and the porn in the porn booth.
Right. Wrestling porn in video games.
Mickey Rourke being in the movie and Billy Corgan, who owns one of the wrestling.
Well, now he owns. What does he own?
Distributors.
And the NWA.
NWA. Okay.
Northwestern Alliance.
National Wrestling Alliance.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, really, every screen had fucking wrestling, porn, or fucking a video game.
Pretty much. Which, that's probably what meth heads like to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's I liked how the movie started off with it just kind of threw you into almost like a meth high because it's when Jason Schwartzman's character first arrives at Spider, who's his kind of local dealer, I guess, and he's just looking for some meth, and Spider doesn't know where his meth is, and you just see a
freaking out, man.
Yeah, a few unique characters get introduced to you, and
so we meet Spider Mike, Frisbee, Cookie,
and then Nikki.
Yeah, which is Brittany Murphy's character. Yeah, Frisbee, such a great junkie name. I don't know why. I was like, that's such a good nickname for some reason. But yeah, I could totally believe that everyone literally calls this dude Frisbee, including his mom. She probably called him Frisbee.
Yeah, even the cops are calling him Frisbee.
Probably his legal name, actually.
Right? These people really don't have, I don't know, any identity outside of that, I guess. Like, once you get that nickname, boom, you're fucking Frisbee, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like Prince, Spider. You're just Prince.
Right.
Whatever. I don't even know what his real name is.
I feel like the only character that goes by the real name is like Ross in this.
Ross
who's the main character.
Ross and Nikki are like the only,
I suppose.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do actually find. Yeah, you're right.
Everybody has a cool drug dealer name, Spider and Frisbee, and the cook.
The
cook.
Yeah.
That's Mickey Rourke's character.
Yeah.
Mustache cop.
Also, dude, Mickey Rourke, man, fantastic actor, such a believable meth cowboy. Because I mean, he's dressed like a cowboy the entire fucking movie. He's got like the white boots and a white hat, you know.
Right. Yeah. He was definitely living the part. It seemed like.
Yeah.
He would have fooled me. Yeah.
I wonder if he's trained in this world a little bit because he's pretty convincing.
Very method acting.
I was just thinking that, because I feel like Jason Schwartzman and Mickey Rourke would be such method actors. They're just like, nah, man, we're gonna do at least a little bit of math, see what it's fucking like or whatever. And they're like the way so you see. I mean, basically everyone in this fucking movie does meth.
Even the cops.
Especially the cops,
Even
bro.
the police.
Yeah. Dude, we see a fucking pregnant chick and her best friend's trying to score meth at some point.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
Like everyone fucking does meth in this town of what it looks like Eugene, Oregon, apparently, or whatever. And so everyone's on meth, and you can see like everyone's strung out the entire time except for fucking the cook, like Mickey Rourke's character. And obviously he's much older than everyone else. He's probably like twice everyone's age or something like that.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, so bro, like you can tell this dude's a vet in doing meth because he's not just strung out the entire time. Like he does it like how we crack cans of Coke. This dude fucking does like lines of meth, man. Or maybe like the way we fucking drink water or like juice, you know, like this dude fucking does meth, but it's just so normal to him now.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised it says that they only did 23 hits throughout the course of the movie. I feel like
and it's just combined too.
Combined
like, bro,
with all the characters.
I thought it was like 23 each or something, dude.
I thought that was just Ross, the main character.
But yeah, man, Mickey Rourke, meth cowboy. He was born to play this role, dude.
He's probably incredible. The best character in the movie, I would say.
This is my favorite.
He's the coolest
one.
Definitely.
Yeah,
he's definitely my favorite. And he's a gentleman, dude. Like, you know, he really there's a scene where a fucking those two female clerks are getting harassed by one of their like boyfriend or whatever, and he stands up for them. Like he just fucking nails them with a fucking 6-pack or whatever.
A 6-pack, and then he takes the rest of the 6-pack.
Yeah. Bro, he's like, you know, he's a meth junkie or whatever. Like he's a meth cook, but the man has manners, bro. He's just like, you don't hit a lady. Like, you don't put your hands on the lady. He defended their honor and just fucking, you know, knocked this dude out and just fucking beat the shit out of him.
And then later on in the movie, you see almost the exact same scene with the
butch like neighbor or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So the two clerks at the liquor store are getting harassed by the same guy, and then in walks
Big Joan. Is that her name?
Big Joan.
Is her name. Yeah, because you don't hear it, but you see it on
the back of her leather jacket, studded, and it's played by she's played by Debbie Harry, the lead singer of Blondie,
right?
The band. So
also real quick, I've seen Blondie live. Fantastic. It's a great fucking show.
Coachella, right?
Yeah, Coachella, nice. Great fucking show, dude. Great fucking show.
Yeah, so then you see pretty much the exact same scene,
bro,
but Debbie Harry's character is the cook this time.
Dude, when I saw that 6-pack in her hand, I was like, "Oh, please tell me she's gonna fucking nail this dude again! Like he's gonna get nailed again by a different 6-pack, by a different fucking character." And it happens, dude. I loved it. I fucking love it, man. It was such an awesome. It was almost like a callback. I don't know if it's a callback, but whatever, dude. Like the reference was fucking incredible.
Yeah, the music for this movie was pretty good too. It was pretty much all original songs by Billy Corgan,
which is fucking awesome, dude. Like I mean, getting original music for your movie is kind of hard, especially from a big name like Billy Corgan. But I'm guessing him and Jonas or whatever, they like worked together at some point, and I don't know, just kind of hit it off or whatever. But,
yeah, he definitely did music videos for the Smashing Pumpkins at one point.
Sure, totally.
Was there a cover of Freedom by George Michael in there?
No, I don't think so.
Nah. Definitely, because he's just doing a song where he said freedom and it sounded kind of like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it doesn't really have a lot of information on here.
But
there's a cover. There was like an acoustic cover of Number and the Beast that the movie opens up with.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
I saw something about Iron Maiden, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but Billy Corgan, it's a movie about meth, but the songs that Billy Corgan wrote are so soft and tender.
Right.
I feel like, which you would think that he would throw in something kind of like wild, like methy.
I heard, like, I mean, I clearly heard the tone of like the music, but I wasn't really focusing on the lyrics, so I didn't know what was really going on there. But the tone is very kind of like not sappy, but just kind of like a little bit like sad boy music, you know, like just very sad acoustic music. And you know, there's love in this movie, and there's lack of love. So I wouldn't put it too past it that that's kind of what like the lyrics are about. Just a guy missing a girl kind of music, but with an acoustic guitar.
I also feel like most of the time you heard the Billy Corgan music was when he wasn't high or was like he was more coming down or something. Like it definitely wasn't when he was like snorting lines of meth.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a lot when he was like driving around or whatever, especially when it's like that nighttime shot. Where I still don't even know where he was going. Was he literally driving to Vegas and then just turning around? I don't know, but they were fucking driving forever. There's a lot of driving in this movie.
A lot of driving, yeah. Well, that's like the whole reason that the cook gets hooked up with Jason Schwartzman with Ross.
Yeah,
it's because he needed like someone to drive him to buy meth supplies.
Yeah, driving his Daisy.
Seems like they worked out a pretty good deal, man. Like, I mean, I don't know how expensive meth was or whatever, but Ross clearly doesn't have an income or like a regular income or whatever. So yeah, he just does like errands for him or whatever.
Will work for meth.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie, man.
I really don't know what to say about it, honestly.
It really is like, well, you called it a fever dream. It's clearly like a meth fucking dream.
It's a meth high.
Yeah, it really is a meth high, basically the entire fucking movie. Well, and then there's certain scenes where it even goes kind of like beyond that, where he starts seeing like cartoon characters and shit just like hopping around like in his fucking visuals or whatever.
Like the director definitely had a lot of like stylistic choices that he went with. And I don't know how much it worked like at the very end of it, but because like all the animations mixed with like the getting high stuff and like I don't know, it's just the animations weren't that great. I feel like they're all right. I just don't know why they're in there.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a pretty low budget movie, so
I want to know what the budget was for this.
I'm sure all the movies just went to like the actors, but I mean, I know they weren't like the
$2 million budget.
Oh. Yeah, and it made $1 million in the box office. But it was clearly like an indie movie. Like there was no way this was supposed to be just a like a big hit. Like obviously this wasn't like a summer blockbuster or whatever.
Yeah, and also another thing that kind of might have changed our viewing of it it was a censored version. I didn't know there's.
Oh yeah.
So there's a unrated version and then an R-rated version
on Paramount, right?
We're watching Peacock.
We watched it on Peacock. Yeah.
That
might have been a mistake.
Yeah. It was weird what they censored, and because I don't know.
Yeah. We were all very confused by it. We thought we just put like a. I don't know if Peacock has like a censored filter or something, or like a setting where you can have like a more censored version of each movie or whatever. But I remember we were all pretty confused, like what the fuck is happening? Like
I honestly thought it was his artistic style.
Dude, like, I literally thought it was a part of the movie.
When you're on meth, you just hear beeps or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so because you'll literally see, like there's like a couple of strip club scenes or whatever, just like naked chicks in general, and you see them like tits. But then it's like censored, then it's not censored, but then they're like their ass and their coochie censored. We're like, what the fuck? And we're like, okay, maybe because they wanted to make sure it gets that R rating or whatever. But then they started censoring words
like the word pussy.
Even in an R-rated movie, I think they censored like the word cunt. Like, obviously we're just kind of filling in the blanks because we don't know what they said.
Right.
But yeah, I was
and
just like,
come. I think like I'm gonna come when he's like having that sex scene. I think he probably said something like that.
Okay.
I feel like it was anything that was sexual they censored, but they were allowing the fucks. They were allowing like the So I think it's like the sexual
but even in
language,
in
maybe.
an R-rated movie, like that's so weird to censor the words. I was very confused, and then I was actually getting kind of pissed off at one point because I was like, bro, this is like streaming. Like this isn't fucking. I'm not watching this on USA or TBS or whatever. Right. I shouldn't be hearing like, just random beeps. But I guess that's better than no. What TBS is terrible for, like they won't beep. They'll just like change the fucking phrase.
Yeah.
Like the famous like Die Hard one where it's like instead of yippee ki motherfucker, it's like good night, Mr. Falcon, or some shit like that. What? Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Like the way like TBS censor stuff is so fucking funny. But yeah, I remember at one point I was getting really irritated with the censors because I'm like, bro, I'm a grown ass man, dude. Like I shouldn't be hearing beep beep or whatever just randomly. I don't know.
Yeah, if I would have known that it was not just an like unrated version or something. If I would have known it was this censored, I would have tried to seek out the uncensored version.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, none of us knew, obviously, before we watched it. So, honestly, it happens.
I was kind of thankful for some of the censored parts because there's a scene where John Leguizamo is like just jacking off in a sock, I guess.
Yeah.
On
right. It's like a sock puppet, too.
Sock puppet.
I think it had eyes on it.
And that was definitely, God. I mean, I'm sure some people would be interested in that, but I was happy.
Bentley's a homophobe, and he's like, I can't see no dicks, dude.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, that scene was fucking funny, though. Yeah, no, the censorship was very... almost like disorienting, dude. I was like, there was literally no rhyme or reason to some of it, and I don't know, it was just kind of annoying. So if you do watch this movie for whatever reason, try to seek out the uncensored version because I don't know, it's kind of weird. It doesn't ruin the movie by any means, but it would definitely be a lot better without the fucking random bleeps and shit.
Yeah, I feel like I missed a little bit of the movie by like not fully understanding what they were saying because there was like scenes where like for 2 seconds, beep. Right. Like full sentences.
Yeah, bro. I like missed that whole thing. I was like, I have no idea what happened.
Right.
Like,
but then they would allow the fucks and the boobs. Like you saw full nipples. Yeah, bro. Dude. Like I don't know. There's this very
decent
confusing
amount of tits in this movie. Yeah. They don't censor John Leguizamo's ass for any fucking reason. You see that shit for like 2 minutes straight.
There's a lot of like stylistic like I feel like this movie's kind of a clusterfuck of like ideas,
like editing and direction, and
like just like the cops, for example, are played very comedically. Like they're very like you're very like sappy like cop show cops who are just like we gotta get the perp man. Like, I don't know.
I like how RJ described it. It really felt like it was a fucking Beastie Boys music video, specifically
exactly
Sabotage. Like and maybe it was inspired by that, honestly. Like if we see somewhere in this wiki article or whatever that they're like, oh yeah, he was heavily inspired by this or whatever, I would be like, yeah, I could see that, honestly. But yeah, the cops being these fucking... Because like the cops basically are also starring in a show that's basically cops called Bust or whatever.
Bust or Busted or something.
But they themselves are on meth. Yeah, I don't know, dude. It was so fucking funny. I really do love their dynamic, though. Like, the scene where they're interrogating Frisbee, I thought was so funny. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, dude. I love their energy. I thought they really played well off of each other. And it was fucking great. It was not weirdly believable, but just fucking funny, man. Just funny. I love that interrogation scene with Frisbee.
Yeah, that mustache cop looks all like Freddie Mercury, I have to say. We all thought that, right? At some point.
I just kept thinking Peter Stormare, or however you pronounce his last name, man. Because I've seen him in quite a few things over the years. And yeah, he literally plays like the same guy, kind of.
Right. Yeah.
So if you've seen him, like, I mean, if you watch Fargo, I don't remember his character's name, but Steve Buscemi's partner, like, that's him. For anyone who's seen Fargo, the movie, also, not the show.
Yeah, he was also in Big Lebowski. He was one of the German techno guys.
Oh right, yeah. He's done a lot. I've seen him do like a lot of TV too, but yeah, he's great. I love him. I mean, he does play the same character, but you know, it's fine. But yeah, I just kept thinking like it's Peter Stormare, bro. Like it's literally him again. But yeah, and then Alexis Arquette or whatever, he played the wait, was he Mustache Cop? Right?
I think so.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, because then Peter was Mullet Cop or something like that. Yeah, Alexis Arquette. Yeah, he was great. Like I don't know, he was funny. But so real quick, you know, there's one thing that always bugs me about these movies where like stars like a bunch of drug addicts or whatever, some kind of poor destitute people. They always get this wrong. the dental of a lot of these characters were too good for fucking meth addicts. Like we saw a Cookie, she was fucked up. Like she had god awful teeth, and that was obviously super believable. But like the closer, dude, Brittany Murphy, she has nicer teeth than I fucking do right now. Right? Like I was just like, bro, there's no way you've been a meth addict for this long and you fucking kept your teeth looking like in tip top shape. And it was the same for like Ross. It was the same for the cook. They all had great teeth, basically, except for.
Well, the cook had dentures. I think he like took out his dentures for a scene, and they like the two missing front teeth.
Okay,
Remember that?
Yeah, that's a little bit more believable.
Right. Which,
yeah,
I thought maybe could have been like Mickey Rourke's actual like because he's a boxer in real life. So I was wondering if like maybe he actually has those front teeth missing.
He might have some missing teeth.
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the one thing, and it always bugs me in movies, kind of like in Saving Private Ryan, right? Like these, like a lot of these dudes have been, you know, at war for like 4 or 5 years or whatever, and they still somehow have great fucking teeth. It's just something I notice about in every fucking movie, dude, where you're either a drug addict, someone destitute, or just someone who doesn't fucking have access to like a toothbrush on a regular basis, but still have amazing teeth. So many movies get that wrong.
Yeah, but
The army got like a cigarette with their toothpaste and their rations. So I'm just kidding.
The good old days, no.
The good old days.
I mean, doesn't cigarettes suppress hunger or something like that?
Yeah, I bet that's actually part of why they gave them to the army.
yeah, I've heard that because you hear stories about when people quit cigarettes, they gain weight because they eat more because their appetite isn't being suppressed from the cigarettes.
So yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I love that. Like, meth and cigarettes always seem to be like a decent combination. Like I feel like I always see like any movie with like a bunch of drug addicts, they also always have like a pack of cigarettes on them. It seems like such a normal thing, and I like wonder why. I don't know. I always kind of wonder why, because I'm like, damn, isn't like your regular high enough? Like what do cigarettes do for you at this point?
To fixate on, I guess, because that's when you're on meth.
Yeah, I guess. Like, yeah, I can see that, because you can't really be smoking meth. Right. 24/7 or whatever.
Right. Also, I think since nicotine's a downer, right? It's supposed to be a downer.
Is it a stimulant? Nicotine's a stimulant.
It's a poison.
I'm like 99% sure that nicotine is a stimulant. Yeah. But I mean, haven't you ever popped a Zyn, bro? No, just kidding.
Yeah, it's pretty stimulating for sure.
An upper decky, dude. Nah. Yeah. But yeah, that's just something else I always noticed about like drug addicts, is they always usually have a fucking pack of cigarettes. Like it's super normal.
I just always think about like the calming effects of like smoking a cigarette or something, just to trying to like cool out, smoke a cigarette, relax and stuff. So that's the only thing I can think of, is like, you know, they're getting all hopped up on meth, so then they smoke a cigarette.
They want to calm down a little bit.
Smoke a cigarette, take the edge off a little bit.
Maybe it helps when they're like jonesing for another one. It just helps them kind of relax a little bit. I don't fucking know. I don't know if enough meth addicts to ask these questions.
Right. We didn't do our research enough on the
really. I saw Breaking Bad, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Bro, this is a great idea for a video. Get like a bunch of meth addicts like watching this movie. Like live reaction to this movie. I want to see how accurate this movie is. Yeah,
make sure they don't take any of like.
Oh, we're gonna put them in an empty room somewhere. Yeah, like, fuck that. I'm not bringing them to my house.
yeah, they're not coming over.
You have to watch that, and then Train Spotting, and
I still haven't seen Train Spotting. I have to watch that one.
Both of you guys haven't seen Train Spotting?
I've seen that one. Yeah, that's a trip too.
I feel like both those two movies are like kind of belong in the same wheelhouse. Like just druggy, hang out kind of movies,
right?
A little bit. Train Spotting was probably like a few years before this.
Definitely,
like 97 or so.
Yeah. It was so. Mid 90s.
This movie has to be inspired by Train Spotting a little bit, I would imagine.
I don't know. Well, it's like the dude. It's about the writer's like his own personal experience being on meth or being addicted to drugs, whatever. So
yeah, but there was like some interesting artistic like choices in Train Spotting as well. There's some very
I always hear just about
scenes and like
the baby scene.
That's
like the one I always hear about. Typically,
I was just telling you about the shit scene where he has to like
he like shits out the drugs or whatever, and he's like searching through it.
Yeah, but then he ends up, like it shows him like it's almost like a swimming pool, and he like dives into it and he's like swimming around.
That's fucking funny. Okay, and gross, obviously, but. Yeah. Okay.
The movie also kind of reminded me a little bit of like a Harmony Korine movie. I don't think you guys have ever seen a Harmony Korine movie, but they're very just like horrible. He did like Gummo and Kids and
Kids. I've never seen Kids, but I've heard about it.
He wrote Kids at least. Okay. I think Spike Jones directed it.
Yeah, that's an AIDS movie, right?
Yeah, the AIDS movie. The kids with AIDS skateboarding in New York, basically. Then he did like the Spring Breakers. That's like part of
Spring Breakers.
Gotcha.
People always know that
one. Break forever. Did he do something sort of recently?
The Beach Bum.
That's
Bum?
what it was.
With McConaughey.
I haven't seen that one. But okay,
did one recently after that too. That wasn't super good. Yeah. I think it was like filmed with like an infrared camera or something.
What?
Yeah, very strange.
Man,
he's a weirdo, but his movies are like just dark and like gritty and druggy, and I just kind of felt that vibe watching this one.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, it definitely felt uneasy like watching this movie.
Yeah, it never relents. It never just chills out.
I know like this movie was written by a meth addict, but I would have sworn the director or the editor has also regularly done meth at some point in their life, because holy shit, man. It was like, I mean, I've never had an interest in doing meth and still do them, but this is kind of what I assumed it would be like, honestly.
I felt like everybody that was making this movie was doing meth.
Yeah, probably.
It's called being method, bro. We can never hear about a director being method, you know?
They were doing like weird time traveling meth or something. Like every time they did it, like time would kind of stop and like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe because meth speeds up so much that like time really slows down for you, you know? But I like this movie because there was no, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't really know what to say about the plot because it's just kind of like all over the place. I mean, you could really say like this is kind of a story about a character named Roz who, I mean, is clearly addicted to meth, but still in denial about it. And he just kind of runs favors for the cook or, you know, whatever.
And the cook is fucking the girl he likes, basically.
I don't think so. I don't really think that's like...
Well, they were at first, yeah.
Wait, that he likes her?
Brittany Murphy's character?
Because the cook and Nikki were like together at first.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I meant like Ross doesn't really care. Like he didn't have like a crush on her or anything.
I would definitely think he did. Yeah, he definitely.
I don't know. Well, I know he's like obsessed with his ex-girlfriend Amy or whatever, right? Yeah, but I don't know. He seemed like kind of whatever about Brittany Murphy's character until the very end, obviously. I don't know. He didn't really seem to care, to be honest. Like
he was too busy about it with his meth to care, probably.
Yeah,
and like ignoring the girl that he had tied up on his bed.
Oh, bro, fucking amazing.
Movie, basically.
So there's this awesome, like, he goes to a strip club, he takes meth, and he takes a fucking stripper home because, you know, he's fucking got a fresh little baggie, and they're fucking for a while, it seems like. Ties her up. He's like, hey, I got to go run this errand real quick. And then she's like, no, you're not leaving me, right? Like, no, I'll be back. Like, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. Tapes her mouth shut, leaves her tied to the bed. Tapes her eyes, which doesn't make any fucking sense. But again, he's a fucking meth addict. I don't think there's any real rhyme or reason to his thought. So I don't know. And then he plays like what's supposed to be some like death metal, but the fucking CD scratch. So you just hear the same
it's just skipping.
Yeah, on fucking like max while this girl's tied up to it. And I was like, bro, I'm pretty sure like, isn't that what they did to Manuel Noriega to fucking get him out of his like hiding place or whatever?
Right. They used that shit at like Guantanamo on like
Flight System of a Down or something like that. Crazy Frog.
This is what I'm saying, dude. Like this is fucking this is like legit torture. I'm pretty sure it's banned by the Geneva Convention at this fucking point. And this dude inadvertently just did that. And I don't understand why he couldn't let her go. Like I get it, like he wants to keep fucking her, but I'm like, bro, like you can just pick her up from work later or whatever, you know? But yeah, so he disappears for a while. He doesn't come back in 30 minutes like he thinks he's going to. He comes back, I don't know, like the next day.
Yeah, it's a full day later.
Yeah, it's like a full day later. This girl's tied, naked to his bed, fucking taped or whatever. Comes back, they start, it seems like she forgives him, and then he gets called up again. He's like, hey, I gotta go. She's like, no, you're not leaving me again, right? He's like, yeah, I kind of have to. And it's like, but you're letting me go, right? It's like, I can't. He fucking retapes her, puts the fucking music back on that he clearly notices that it's fucking scratched and repeating.
Doesn't fix the CD or anything.
Does not fix the CD and leaves her again, dude. Holy shit, man. Hilarious, like absolutely hilarious scene, but in reality, fucking torture. And I felt so bad for that girl, dude. I've never felt so bad for a fucking meth addict, honestly.
Yeah, later on, he like he's talking to Nikki about the situation, about having her tied up, and he says it was for like 4 days, 3 days.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, he forgets how long it is. So
yeah.
like,
Again, I don't know if
this
he was
poor woman.
Yeah, I don't know if he was driving her to Vegas at that point because he kept talking about like going to Vegas, going back home or whatever, and he's just driving her. And I don't think they're just driving around town because at one point it seems like he's on the highway. And I'm like, damn, like they've been driving for a while. And he, tells her what's happening. He's like, yeah, I think it's been like 3-4 days. And then she's like, dang, I thought you were a normal guy. He's like, I am. She's like, no.
No, that's not normal.
Yeah. And then they go back to free her or hopefully free her. But apparently she's been freed, I guess, from his neighbor who's been kind of nosy the entire time.
Big Joan.
Big Joan is the neighbor.
Yeah, Big Joan. Wait, what? Big Joan. Big Joan.
Joan.
Yeah, Big Joan. And then later we see that it was, in fact, her who freed her. So good on her, you know? But yeah, dude, I felt so bad for that girl, honestly. That sounded terrifying, man. I was like, dude, this girl's like gonna starve to death pretty soon or dehydrate, or, you know, whatever, like basically die of dehydration.
I feel like the worst thing about that would be just how boring it would be. Honestly, dude, sitting there for 4 days in a row, like,
dude, it's not even that. It's the fucking music on on skip or repeat, dude. That would fucking drive me nuts, man. I can't. Yeah, that sounds awful. But yeah, I felt bad. I felt bad for that girl. And then, man, seeing it's kind of crazy because I don't think anyone was really in denial about kind of being an addict except for Ross, essentially. Because I think when he's talking to Brittany, he's just like, he literally says like the most stereotypical addict line ever. He's like, you know what, I love that. I'm not hooked, you know, like I can quit anytime. And I was like basically waiting for someone to fucking say that. It seems like everyone else kind of accepted it except for him. And then, yeah, I don't know. So I was like, oh, okay. Because he seemed like he's wearing like a Letterman's jacket. So I was like, bro, how old is this kid? Like, I'm sure he is in his early 20s, honestly. But I was like, why are you still wearing a fucking Letterman jacket? Like, when we first saw him, I thought he was like a high schooler or something.
It's like a Letterman jacket that has his name embossed on it and everything.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought he was like in high school, but then later I was like, oh, he might be like early 20s or something. But he's just like a fucking high schooler. And then, man, such a stacked cast. And then I fucking love, we see Josh Peck, the star of Oppenheimer, for fucking like 8 seconds. And literally his credit is, he's titled as Fat Boy.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's what he gets called. He's like John Leguizamo's character. He goes like, get away, Fat Boy. And then whatever, he leaves. And then the credit literally says Josh Peck as Fat Boy. So I thought that was great. And this must have been, or this is before Drake and Josh.
Yeah, this is before Drake and Josh.
Yeah,
this is probably like Amanda show Josh Peck. Like,
oh, yeah. Because Drake and Josh was probably what, like 2004 maybe? Yeah.
Right.
And this movie was 2002. Wait, no.
Yeah, 2002.
Yeah, 2002. Yeah. So
this would have been like Max Keeble's big move time.
yeah. So if you remember, I mean, to the Gen Zers, Josh used to be fat. I don't know, like I don't know if you know that, but Josh used to be fat. Like it wasn't until the end of Drake and Josh where he finally lost some weight, if I remember correctly. But he was always like a bigger kid actor. Yeah, so seeing him as just like this very small role was kind of funny. And
plus he's like credited like pretty like importantly too. Like he's only in the movie for like 5 seconds, but his name shows up in the beginning credits.
Yeah. Before the opening credits too.
Yeah.
That's right. All you see.
Yeah. So shout out to the director or the editor for making sure everyone got their, recognition.
Yeah, Billy Corgan makes a little cameo as a doctor.
Yeah, Billy Corgan
with the worst wig ever.
Right.
I was like, I
He
knew that was
looks
supposed
like,
to be somebody who's so normally bald or something, but I saw that fucking blonde peroxide wig. I was like, bro, that is not real hair. But yeah.
Looks like Andy Warhol, basically. I'll put up a picture in the podcast right here of Andy Warhol, and then Billy Corgan right next to him.
But man, seeing so many recognizable names, like early 2000s, like this is crazy to see. Like so many of these people went on to do like a lot, so that's really cool. And I'm not the biggest John Leguizamo fan, but I really liked his portrayal of Spider Mike or whatever. He really seemed to be fucking unhinged.
Yeah, man, it's all the meth.
Yeah, and then Mina Suvari, Mena, I think it's Mina
Suvari.
Yeah, from American Pie fame.
American Beauty.
American Beauty, yeah.
You see the daughter?
No, she's the chick that Kevin Spacey's like lusting after the entire
daughter's
movie.
friend.
Daughter's friend,
Daughter's friend.
Yeah. She was great. She was like the most believable meth addict, probably because of the fucked up teeth.
Yeah, she's the one that had the fucked up teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Honestly, everyone's fucking performance was pretty great. I loved. Yeah.
Patrick Fugit, who was the kid from Almost Famous.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, I didn't know this kid did anything other than Almost Famous and Gone Girl. I know he plays like one of the cops or whatever.
One of the cops. Yeah, he's done a handful of things. So he was in We Bought a Zoo.
Haven't seen that,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I haven't seen that either. Yeah, this is only his second movie after Almost Famous. So.
Oh wow, that was a nice little hot streak. I don't know if we call two a hot streak, but you know,
Definitely showing off his range for sure. I guess doing those two
but
movies.
him as like the teenage meth addict was funny. I like his fucking like scabs on his face, bro. For a second I was like, are those meth scabs or is this acne?
I honestly just assumed it was acne at first, but yeah, after a while,
scabs.
Yeah. Bro, this movie this movie also wasn't afraid of getting grotesque because we saw his mom, who's just like this morbidly obese woman with like an open robe the entire time, just sitting on this fucking like Barker lounger.
Eating cheese puffs.
Yeah, and there was like
Yeah,
a close-up
cheese puffs.
shot of like her fupa or whatever, and I was like, oh, what the fuck, man?
yeah, a lot of those grotesque shots of people's faces and their mouths and stuff, and yeah, it was almost like in like SpongeBob where it would. Cut to that
when you like
The
super
hyper-realistic-
yeah.
the hyper-realistic
Yeah.
grotesque face of one of the characters.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh,
think
what is
think
this?
of either SpongeBob scenes or not Chowder, Flapjack. Misadventures of Flapjack did that a lot, where they would just like do random close-ups, and it's just super grotesque, fucking like high definition, whatever. Yeah, but yeah, and then the scene where Cookie's like trying to take a shit. I don't know if meth causes constipation, but she was like literally in the middle of sex. She's like, I'm sorry, I gotta go.
I've been taking a shit in days.
Yeah. So there's a chance that meth causes constipation. I don't know. I know Bentley and RJ, you said that heroin does that, right?
Yeah, 'cause-
constipates people.
Yeah, because that whole scene from Train Spotting, that's the only reason I know that.
Wow.
It makes your intestines or your just whole digestive system run slower. And I would imagine that meth would just make it run faster. It would do the opposite. It would just put it on speed run, you know. But
It makes everything just faster, including your fucking digestive
system
system.
and everything. Yeah.
Gets overclocked. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I like these random scenes that got just kind of randomly grotesque. I thought it was kind of funny. And then, but also like, yeah, because the scene where she's taking the shit, you literally see the dookie drop like in the bowl, and I was like, what the fuck, man?
They don't censor that.
They don't censor that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
not
do
censored. Thanks, Paramount.
Peacock.
Peacock. That one.
Peacock.
That
Put
P.
the unrated version on. Like, you're the only streaming service with this fucking movie. Put the unrated version.
No, honestly, all those censors must have been in there to make it not NC-17. Like, that's what I imagine. Because all the censoring pussy, censoring the girl bending over in her butt and stuff.
Yeah,
like, I feel like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
all NC-17 stuff. So
Probably, yeah.
I would imagine that's what it separates it from R.
It's interesting that instead of like
NC-17.
cutting it or like editing it so you don't like see that directly, he just chose to censor it instead so it can have an R rating or whatever.
I wonder what the
So that's kinda
theatrical version would have been if.
It was definitely the R rated.
Think it's R-rated
Yeah, I
one?
think
Yeah,
I think we
right.
watched the theatrical cut. Yeah, because I was looking it up to see if there was an unrated version or what this was rated as technically. And it said the length of both movies are exactly the same. It's literally just the censorship that makes it different. So there's no like extra scenes or whatever in the uncut version.
The way that Private Parts does its like TV censored version is like whenever like a woman gets naked on there, Howard Stern is like watching the movie and he'll pause it and turn to the camera and start like explaining like why they had to censor it.
Oh, really?
So they actually like added extra scenes to like
okay.
explain the censorship and stuff. I feel like that would have been a good option here or something like that.
that's great.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's like the best way to censor
Why
something.
did
I
you
feel
not
like.
bring that up in the Private Parts
know,
episode, Bentley?
I forgot about it honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I thought you were gonna say that like the scenes where like you see like a girl's tits or something, it's just gonna be like little like cutouts of Howard's face on them. You know?
Yeah, Beetlejuice or something.
That would have been fucking great. Yeah.
This movie, like some movies make you want to smoke cigarettes, this one makes you want to smoke meth, dude.
I just feel like I need to be on meth to truly appreciate this movie. You know, like pothead movies. Like some of them were like you're definitely made to be high as fuck or whatever to watch them and try to like to enjoy it on another level. But yeah, that with meth.
I feel like this movie's showing less of what meth is like and more of what meth psychosis is like. Because I feel like all the characters like are like probably in their like 5th, 6th day of a drug bender or whatever. Like they're all like probably experiencing meth psychosis.
Yeah, they're all talking about how they haven't slept for days. And
yeah, you hear the cook talk about that his record was like 13 days awake or something, 13, 14 days, something like that, which I'm just fucked, dude. I can't imagine that. I think the most I've ever went without sleep is like 48 hours or whatever, and that shit fucking sucked. So I can't imagine 2 weeks, dude. That's insane. But yeah, everyone's definitely been on a meth binge. Even though you don't see it from the very beginning, you can definitely tell these guys do meth multiple times a day, every day. So they've probably been, just awake for at least a week at this point.
Right. So you're not seeing just like normal meth users. Well, I guess you kind of are, but you're just really seeing like the extreme like meth psychosis, like crazy ass tweakers, basically.
Right,
society.
Yeah. It was all, I don't know, man. It was pretty believable. Like I can truly believe that this is like the story of some like meth addicts, man. Like all they do is hang out and try to do like random odd jobs to fucking score, and somehow the most put together person is the cook. You know, like obviously he can
handle it.
He doesn't follow the golden rule of don't get high on your own supply, but he's a real vet. You can tell like this is just like fun for him, where for everyone else it's a necessity. Like there's no way they can go a day without fucking doing a bump or a rail, as they say.
A rail of the gear, or what do they call it? The crank.
Crank, yeah. Meth, crank, ice. I don't know. I can't think of another fucking
Crystal.
There we go. God damn it.
Glass.
Glass.
I was trying to think of Breaking Bad. I was like, what terms did we hear in Breaking Bad?
That's the blue stuff, right? Special blue or something. What do they call it?
Blue Dream.
Blue Dream.
Yeah.
No, that's like the weed, isn't it?
Oh, no. Blue Dream, I think, is from American Gangster. Yeah, because it comes in like blue packets or whatever.
Blue something.
Yeah. Dude,
Baby blue.
I just fucking love this movie, dude. I was just like, as soon as the movie ended, I just thought, damn, dude, this movie was fucking awesome. Like, I genuinely, again, enjoyed it from beginning to end. I was never bored at any point. I loved everyone. I thought everyone just played off of each other really well. Like, this is probably one of the like better chemistry I've seen between an entire cast, especially when it was like technically so many different people. I just remember thinking like I really loved how everyone worked with each other and bounced off of each other. I thought it was I just thought that the chemistry was incredible between everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience.
It was earnest. You could say it was earnest.
You gotta watch that John Tron video again, but.
I don't know if I cared for this movie that much, honestly. I thought it was kind of a clusterfuck a lot of times. It threw a lot of ideas at the wall, like.
But isn't that the point? Like, it's supposed to be like messy, you know, like just like a fucking regular meth addict person's life, you know. It's just a fucking It's just a mess. Like it's all chaos essentially. It's a meth. If you have a lith, it's a meth.
I just thought it was like just kind of like clusterfucky in some parts. Like some of the ideas that were in there, is like with the cops, like they would do like this sort of like 70s like cop show shtick with them, where it would do like this editing, and I was like, that's kind of dumb. Like, just I feel like the director just like threw that in there because he got high one night or something. He's like, what if I made like a 70s cop movie?
I just thought because they look like 70s cops.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I actually like that, but I guess to each their own.
Right.
You didn't care for it. I liked it.
Like I'm sure. I guess it was just there to add some comedic levity or something like that. But
this movie was definitely one of the most unique movies I've ever seen, just in the way that it was shot, and I guess the editing of it all, and it was like I said, it was like a fever dream when I first watched it. But I guess it would be more more apt to say it's like a meth high, I guess.
What scene was it that you said that you just randomly saw on Pluto or whatever? That
it was the whole scene with Patrick Fugit going back into Spider's house with the wire on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He gets shot in the balls, and
dude, I can he actually shot him in the balls.
And John Leguizamo is on the phone having phone sex with Big Joe.
Yeah, while his girlfriend's outside or in the living room trying to fucking get it off with Frisbee.
Right, with Frisbee, yeah. And so I watched that scene, and then I watched the following scene where the cook blows up his meth lab.
Oh, yeah.
And gets caught in the porn shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cook is like, he has this whole meth lab syndicate in this like motel room or something, and it's like, how is nobody smelling this, or how is he like getting away with?
Yeah,
like,
he definitely had to deal with the fucking motel owner, man, for sure. Because there's no way that fucking like that room and then around that room must have fucking reeked, man. Because I always just hear about how like terrible like meth lab smell.
Probably just chemical smell or something like that.
It's well, I think sulfur is like an ingredient, so that would make a lot of sense. I don't remember what ingredient actually makes it like really nasty, but they bring that up in Breaking Bad a lot because they talk about like, oh, let's just cook here, and it's like, you know how fucking much this shit reeks, and that's why they get the RV and go out into the desert, or like that's why he also takes off his clothes every single time.
Right?
It sticks. I thought man, there was I do love that scene with Frisbee because, you know, the cops he's like, oh, you know, I don't want to do this. And like, nah, man, like, you know, you got to play the game or whatever. And like, they're going to bust me. Like, look, man, as long as you don't get naked, you should be fine. Like, do you get naked in there? Like, no. And it's like, okay, then you should be okay. And then first time he goes in, or not the first time he goes in there, but he goes in there. And the fucking chick is trying to sleep with him. And I'm like, oh, no, dude. I was like, fuck. Like, the one thing that didn't need to happen, and you start getting fucking almost sexually assaulted, dude.
Yeah,
Very unfortunate for Frisbee.
Yeah, and the cops didn't really help him out too much right there either.
Yeah, the cops are definitely dicks in this movie for sure.
Oh, they're the fucking worst, dude. Yeah,
they're doing drugs and having like...
I love that they're like the stars of this TV show and fucking high as shit on meth, busting fucking drug addicts in meth houses and stuff. I don't know why. I just thought that was so funny. So like ironic.
Yeah, I feel like I almost want to watch a movie where it's just them, like,
dude, I thought about that at one point.
1970s style detectives just going for the bust and.
Dude, yeah, I would totally watch a whole series with just those two characters, honestly, man. I love their dynamic.
It's like the South Park cops or whatever, a little bit. Like
nice. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, that's so funny you mentioned that because I was thinking that throughout the movie where I was just like, dude, I would watch this bus show for real, man. And those two were like the main characters that we see every time. Totally. So yeah, it's funny that you bring that up. Did you guys have a favorite scene? Like, I have to like really think about it right now, but
favorite scene. Oh.
Yeah, like I can't really think of like one specific one on the top of my head, I guess. But
I might just pick the one scene with Frisbee going undercover into Spider's Spider's house. Yeah. Gets shot in the balls and you get to see Spider jerking off, even though it's censored. And it's a whole lot of just clusterfuck, like you said. Yeah, it's just a big clusterfuck going on.
Yeah, that probably is the best scene, honestly. But I also just I couldn't get over the scene where fucking the cook just fucking nails that dude with a 6-pack and just starts beating the shit out of him in the convenience store.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just thought it was so fucking funny. And then also, dude, Eric Roberts, we barely saw him for 2 minutes maybe. And he just like really stole the fucking scene, bro. Like, I don't know why. Like him as this basically Tiger King character, I just thought was so fucking phenomenal. And I just loved like the way he talked, his fucking mannerisms, the way he moved around. His little fucking sex slaves or whatever. I was like, bro, like this dude got mad aura, bro. Like I just thought it was so funny.
Do you think him and Mickey Rourke's character had some sort of like gay relationship or something? Because it seems like they kind of make a deal and then the cameras like don't show it or anything, and then Mickey Rourke leaves, and I almost wonder if they like did some like gay shit or something together.
I don't know. I remember thinking like because they throw out like they throw out like the F slur quite a bit like in the movie, especially from like Mickey Rourke's character. So I thought like, not that back then it was really like, oh, to show your like homophobia, because it was just like a pretty normal slur to throw out, but I was like, oh, maybe he really doesn't fuck with gay guys. But then you meet Eric Roberts' character and he's, you know, they're like buddies basically. Like he's probably like his best employee or whatever, and he really likes working for his boss. Then I was like, oh, maybe not. Okay, like maybe he is like pretty cool with He's an ally, bro. He's an LGBT ally. Also, I really like the scene where, so I think it's before they get to Eric Roberts' character when they're like driving, or I don't know, it's after when he's driving to his new meth lab, which is just some like trailer in the middle of nowhere or whatever. When the cook just kind of starts opening up randomly to Ross, and he talks about like his childhood or whatever, about how he watched his mom murder a litter of puppies, and he asked her why, and it's like, oh, I just want to get rid of anything that I can't take care of, and sometimes I think about that with you or whatever. And he was like, and sometimes I think like, yeah, maybe she should. I just like, bro, like there was, I don't know, I was really watching Mickey Rourke during it, and there was like real like emotion in his face when he's telling this story. And it reminds me of like this kind of like, I don't know, like meme about men where it's just like guys randomly, one day or whatever, and it's just like they just choose to randomly open up to somebody that they've known for a while. It's like, I remember seeing this one TikTok. It's like when your guy friend of like 8 years, like you're hanging out with your guy friend of 8 years, and then out of nowhere he just starts like opening up about his emotions. I was like, wow, that's like a super accurate portrayal of just like guys like just randomly one day, boom, just open up to some either person you barely know or someone you've like known for a really long time. Especially if you ever been to like music festivals or whatever, I feel like it's just a bunch of like high people just like opening up to random strangers because they think they're never gonna see them again. I feel like I've seen that quite a bit over the years. But yeah, so I don't know. I really like that scene, and we got a little backstory on the cook's character, which I thought was really cool. Kind of explains a bit, but yeah. I just really like that scene. I just wanted to specifically talk about it.
So he like goes into the trailer that he's gonna make meth in, and he just immediately kind of blows it up, right? Yeah. So does he just start cooking? I almost wonder if like he tried starting to cook meth and just accidentally just blew it up or something. But it's very heavily implied that he probably
because he accidentally blows up his first lab that we see, right? Yeah. And then, dude, I was thinking like, because I think I did see a cigarette in his mouth, so I was just like, oh, I wonder if that's what it was.
Just
like
fell in there on accident.
He like turned on the propane tank or something and just fucking, whatever, another meth explosion. And then a part of me was like, oh, I wonder if his like boss kind of set him up with some like faulty gear because he just ruined his first fucking, his first meth lab. Because that shit's expensive, replacing all that shit. So.
Or maybe it was just because it was a super small trailer. He had all this flammable shit, and he probably just went to light a cigarette, and then boom,
bro. Because it's almost immediate. Like he just gets in there, and there's just like this external shot of the trailer where you're just like, I feel like that thing's gonna blow up, and then
gonna go
5 seconds later, fucking big ass explosion. And then it's funny because Ross is still in the car, and he's asleep during the whole thing. Like this thing blows up probably like 50 feet away from him, and he's still like dead asleep. Which makes sense because the dude's probably been up for like over a week at this point. So he crashed hard.
Yeah, I did kind of like that scene at the end of the movie where it was it was nearing the end, and it showed all the characters finally like sleeping,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like literally everyone, even like the store clerks that you only see for like a little bit.
Right, yeah. It was all pretty much every single character. It would show them sleeping.
Yeah, Spider's still he's in prison sleeping. Not Cookie.
Cookie's in prison.
And Nikki's sleeping on the bus because she's heading to Vegas. Yeah, everyone's just sleeping. Yeah, that was a pretty cool like little montage. Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice little choice for sure. But yeah, man, I was kind of sad that the cook died. He seemed like an overall good dude, except for whatever being a meth cook, I love his whole like white cowboy getup because I was just like, oh, is he supposed to be like the white knight? Because I think in westerns that was like a thing. There's like the white knight cowboy, or like he either has like a white hat, white boots, something, and then there's like the evil one who's usually like in all black or whatever. So I don't know. There's like some symbolism there, or the curtains might be blue, whatever. But I love this getup. I
think it was just a cool getup.
Possibly. But yeah. Also, I mean, you guys heard me say this before. Like, I really like this movie because I love any movie that you can tell, like, it was just a really good fucking script, and you fucking made this movie with, like, you can make this movie with, like, $10,000 or whatever. If it wasn't for the cast or whatever, like, there was nothing, like, really grandiose, like, except for the final
$2 million
explosion.
budget.
Yeah, I know it was a $2 million budget, but
I'm curious where it went towards.
It had to go to the actors. Like,
Which actors though?
Definitely Mickey Rourke, because he's the biggest name at this point.
Right, but this was like before he came back too, so I'm sure he could have gotten cheap back then.
He still gets quite a bit though.
I mean, this was right around the time that Brittany Murphy did 8 Mile.
Okay,
The same year.
She was already doing King of the Hill for a few years.
Yeah, Jason Schwartzman was already like the lead in a couple.
John
Wes
Leguizamo was
Anderson.
already a known name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jason Schwartzman had already been lead in Wes Anderson movies at that point.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, and then
Billy
all the music was original, so it's not like it all went to the music or whatever, the music rights. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it just all went to the actors. But I love it. Like I just feel like, I don't know, almost like anyone could shoot this movie with just like a few G's, man. Like if it wasn't for the names, like I would really think this is like almost like a student film, but in the best way possible. Not trying to like diss this movie. Like genuinely just thought like it was such a fucking awesome script.
I know Bentley mentioned this before we started recording, but like the script was good, the actor or the cast is good, but it kind of just goes downhill when the direction of the like director and the editor and everything. It's just it's very all over the place for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, throwing a lot of ideas to the wall for sure.
Yeah, the directing, it's again, it's pretty like chaotic, and so is editing. But I also think that is the point, because that's what the story is, and it's a very like chaotic subject on top of that. So I'm sure it was on purpose, but I mean I liked it, but I can definitely guess like why a lot of people wouldn't like it. Yeah, like that first opening shot at Spider's house, like when it's just Ross knocking on the door or whatever. Oh my god, dude! It cut away to so many different angles in a 15-second span. And that's where you guys pointed out, like, wow, this is like really shot like a music video, and you could totally see that. Not like current day music videos, because current day music videos are basically just fucking movies. Like they have like movie level budgets nowadays. But yeah, think of like music videos from the early 2000s or the 90s. This is exactly what like that opening shot was like.
Very fast movie, man. There's no shot that's like longer than probably 3 seconds. Like that's probably your longest shot in this whole thing.
There was one shot where I was just like, I think I was counting it to see like how long it was, and I think it was like 7 seconds. Like, that was probably the longest take, honestly. But yeah, it's very fast. It's very fast paced, and the editing is even fucking faster. But yeah,
I don't know if I have a favorite part, honestly. I'm trying to think of like the whole movie.
I'd probably have to think about it like a little bit. I was just thinking, but I really just enjoyed the whole movie, man. I was never bored.
So it's a movie or is it a film?
Oh, fuck. It's a film, bro. Is this an action movie, RJ? No, I was kidding. This is a film.
No, it's a comedy. I consider it a comedy for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a comedy drama is technically what it's listed under, which I could totally see it.
I definitely consider it like a black comedy because of the like subject matter and everything too. It's not just the everyday life, you know. It's it's this weird drug culture.
Yeah. It's definitely a dramedy for sure.
Makes you want to scratch the bugs out of your skin while you watch it. You know,
I was fiending.
Yeah, dude. I was looking at like their nails and stuff, and I was like, oh, you know, you just see like the blood around it, like the picking from all the picking and shit. Yeah, it's very. If you were easily like squeamish or like get that like random like shiver down your spine, you're gonna get that a lot watching this fucking movie for sure. Yeah. Again, loved it. I'd probably recommend this movie to just about anybody, honestly. Like, I don't think this is like a niche clientele whatsoever. I just think it's a fucking well-written comedy/drama. Again, fucking fantastic chemistry from the cast. And it was just enjoyable. There's a real, like, it's a pretty loose plot in reality, so you don't have to, like, super pay attention to it, but, I mean, obviously I'd recommend it.
Yeah, it's almost just like a hangout movie.
Mm-hmm. It really is, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't even know how I would describe the plot, honestly. But it's pretty loose, but honestly, it works really well for this type of film. But yeah, I honestly recommend to anyone who likes a really good dramedy. You know, there's a lot of like sad, like not sad, but like real moments, and then there's just really random funny moments throughout the fucking movie. Yeah, I'd recommend it to just about anybody, honestly.
I didn't like it that much, honestly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it. I thought it was kind of bad overall, to be honest. Not much I enjoyed out of it.
Bentley's the Rotten Tomato reviewer, because if you look at the reviews, it's like
the
was
critics,
it 23% or 33% from critics?
It was in the 30s for the critics, but it was in the 70s for the audience score.
Yeah, it's a classic. I don't know. I feel like I see that with Rotten Tomatoes a lot, where it's like, if Rotten Tomatoes, like the critics say it sucked, honestly, it's probably a pretty good movie. It's an ongoing trend that I've seen, honestly. Like, if it's bad from the critics but good from the viewers, it's probably a pretty good movie.
Like the Reagan movie. It's probably really good because the reviewers liked it, but the critics,
I haven't seen that, so I don't know. But this is a trend I've noticed more recently on that fucking website.
Yeah, I would definitely trust the audience score more than I would the reviewers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, there just wasn't much that I enjoyed about the movie. Honestly, I thought it was kind of like chaotic with its ideas, and it didn't really satisfy me at the end, I guess.
All right, I mean, sure. All right. Any other final thoughts on this film?
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
It's a pretty good caution. Damn, we're watching another
cautionary tale.
Why are we watching so many cautionary tales recently, dude?
I don't know. It's definitely a unique movie. I've said that a few times now, but I don't know. I'm still thinking a lot about it, and I can't really wrap my head around it and make sense of a lot of it. But
sure,
things happen.
Yeah, things happen. At the same time, I did like it. I did enjoy it though, and it kept me entertained. But I don't know. I guess I was happy when it was over because I don't know, because I wasn't gonna keep going through this. It was very mentally draining, honestly.
Yeah, I can almost see this being like a psychological kind of thing too, with just how nuts it is.
Yeah. Just watching the shots continue, like every shot was just 3 seconds, and they would switch over to another one.
Yeah.
It was just
Reminded me of
was really fast. You know,
I remember thinking that with like the Valley of the Dolls or whatever. Like there was a lot of just random, just like boom, different angle, bop, 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 bop for a lot of the shots. So yeah, it kind of reminded me like that old school editing. Yeah,
kind of commercial editing a little bit.
I mean, I genuinely enjoyed it. I actually, again, these types of movies where it's just, you know, it's a great script and just kind of like low budget, but it makes sense. You don't really need a high budget for these types of movies. Always kind of like a weird like soft spot in my heart. So I can genuinely say I loved it, and I'd probably give it like an 8. I think like a solid 8 for me personally, just on enjoyability. I'm not like gonna get into like the cinematography of it or just how much I enjoyed it. Yeah, I give it about an 8 or an ocho to our Spanish friends.
Yeah, I'd give it like I don't know, quarter ounce of methamphetamine. I guess. I don't know. I'd probably give it like
a dime baggie.
I don't know. I'd give it like a 6, maybe. Maybe that's probably a little too generous. Maybe like a 5.5.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably give it like a 4, honestly.
Because I did like that it was different, but it wasn't executed that well, I guess. You know,
kind of makes you feel sick watching it in a way. Do you guys feel that? Like how fast it is and the drug?
I mean, there was one scene where it was Spider talking, probably, I think it was Cookie, and they were like circling each other in the kitchen. And it was almost like the camera was spinning at the same time, you know? Like it was following one of the characters, and the camera was spinning with the character walking in a circle. Okay. And it would cut to the other character doing the same thing. That was a little disorienting. Just like it was almost like I was spinning around in circles.
There was a scene where like all 4 of them are kind of doing that. Yeah, it was the circle. It was Cookie, it was Spider, it was Ross, and it was Nikki. Like there's a point where they're all 4 of them are just getting high, like in the middle of the movie. And there's a lot of like just shots where it's literally only their face and the rest is blacked out, but it kept switching to the other character, and there was like a lot of spinning motion. Yeah. So yeah,
which was filmed almost like how like you would film like an LSD trip, I feel like, or something like in the 60s.
I've never done LSD, so I can't make that analogy, but you know.
But also meth psychosis is probably kind of maybe like that, because
there's definitely shots that's a bit disorienting, but again, I kind of just think that's the point, because it's just a very, I don't know, the movie's wild, like the subject matter is very wild, and I think they try to match that with the editing and the direction. So, but yeah, I can definitely see people getting disoriented watching it. You said like, oh, like do you feel like a little bit sick? I actually kind of did feel a little bit sick, but I also thought like, oh, I also did just down a giant cold brew on a relatively empty stomach, so that might have something to do with it with me, honestly.
Like being on a one of those spinny rides at the fair.
Oh god,
topsy-turvy, whatever. The spinny really fast.
Yeah,
that's how I felt watching this.
Tilt-a-wheels or whatever.
Tilt-a-whirl.
Tilt-a-whirl. There we go. Yeah. Oh fuck those rides.
Centrifugal force.
Yeah, but besides like the gravity ride, I can't do rides that are just like all spin like that, because that's the one that fucks up like my equilibrium or whatever, and I just feel fucking sick afterwards. Yeah.
I do prefer Train Spotting as far as like just druggy movies go. Train Spotting is probably a little bit better, but I didn't even care for that one not that much either. I thought it was like way too bleak and like just hard to watch.
Yeah.
Maybe I just don't like drug movies that much.
Reminds me of a lot of scenes from Traffic, because that's like that movie's more about like the entire basically lifespan of a drug, essentially. Like you see like everyone, like from the users to the dealers to the cops and like the whatever like politicians who like go after like the drug war. Like you basically see it from every angle of the drug war, essentially. But like the meth addict scenes where you see like people doing it and just kind of like high off of it, like reminds me a lot of that. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely like it. I recommend it to anyone who likes a good dramedy or whatever. Yeah, I guess that's all like my final thoughts on it, really. All right, guys, this has been another episode of 3 Hacks in a Movie. I've been Emilio.
I'm Bentley.
And I'm RJ.
All right, have a good night, y'all.
Was that really an hour? I don't believe it.
Hour 10.
Wow.